This episode of Shifting Gears is brought to you by grenades. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shifting Gears. I'm your host, Clutch. Joining me on this show, four guests. So you guys are in for a treat. Go ahead and name them off. First off, Duckville, all the way from South America, Australia. Thanks for coming on the show, Duckville. How you doing?
All right. Just only a little bit cold today. It's a little bit better than last time, but yeah, doing good.
Right on. To his immediate left and to your right viewing audience, we have the hero of Reddit himself, Leaf Eater. Joey, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
And down in the southern corner, we did not have a Game of Thrones episode this weekend because of Memorial Day. That's why he kept the beard, to give everybody their Game of Thrones fix. He is Wiggin. And for some reason on Twitter it says DG instead of DB. So apologize for that. It should be DB. DB
God,
Wiggin,
my followers.
guys.
Oh no.
I know. So bad. So it's DB Wiggin, guys. It's my fault. Trying to produce and do everything at the same time. And last but not least, you know, he was a mainstay. He was a guest on this show many a time when he still is, in my opinion, the best writer in the world of esports. He is Galen Andrews. Galen, thanks for being here, man. How you doing?
Doing well, Josh. Thanks for having me on. It's been a while, brother.
Yeah, sure has. All right, so if you're unfamiliar with Shifting Gears, this is episode number 74, which means we've been doing it for a long time. We have explored all sorts of things in the worlds of entertainment. So here at this show, we talk about everything. And towards the end, we're going to take your questions because the big announcement about the Wargaming North America League, World of Tanks, has been officially announced. Yes, I'm involved, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But first off...
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
You didn't see that? Even asleep. That's right.
Dude, I was asleep. Give me a break.
Yeah, it came
Wasn't
out.
he just waking up?
It came out, man. So I'll answer some of your questions either via Skype or in chat. Skype's a little bit crazy about trying to take calls when I have all these guys here. I might mess it up. Whatever. First off, still a huge negative fallout for Xbox One. And I've seen surveys. I did a survey that said over 70% of the people were completely disappointed with what the reveal was. They're disappointed with the console and what Xbox showed at that reveal. We talked about it last episode, but I wanted to bring it up again once the dust settled for the reveal. And we'll go down the line here, starting with you, Duckville, if you even care down there in America, Australia about console games. Is this still going to be a console war? Is Sony winning this war? Or is it going to be PC on top, always be a PC gamer until the Steam box comes out? What are your thoughts?
Just on the sort of broad opinion, it's obviously still very much like what you guys have, or it's kind of been the general opinion of, you know, what is this actually a gaming console, or you know, is this for media playing and that kind of stuff? I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting. There's always going to be a fraction of the people who like consoles better than PCs or whatever, or the casual gamers who like consoles because they have the casual games and stuff like that. But I think some of the comments that have been made, like the EA exec recently, who said that the next gen consoles have better performance than PCs. Why would you say that?
What?
Why would you even bother say that? I can't remember where the quote is. I saw it somewhere, but
Okay.
some EA guy said that. And I mean, in general, EA, we don't actually think about things properly fashion. It's a very ridiculous statement because, as far as I understand, the Xbox One, the part of the isn't the graphics actually not that tip top? It's actually pretty bad.
Well, I had heard from that GIF of when it's the ending of 7 with Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Spacey, which gave a lot of useful information. It said that they foregoed the tip top graphics in order to have an all-in-one entertainment package. Which is a huge mistake.
Well.
But the reason I want you to bring this up first, Duckville, is because your internet sucks in South America, Australia. We all know this. And now the reasoning of the console having a ping every 24 hours so that you can play a game, or the pretty much non-use rumor of used games with a used game fee, How does this hurt you? How does this hurt any type of culture that is not as online compared to Redmond, Washington?
Well, I think I don't know how how it would really be affected too much by that. Obviously, the main issue with the with a lot of internet here is that it's more about the penetration that isn't as good as some other places. Like in the US, you've got far more distribution of the internet than there is of the speed and that kind of thing. Because in some places here, we have far better speed than many other first world countries. But I think also partly the fact that we have really bad setups for ISPs and that kind of thing when it comes to plans like download limits and overuse fees and that kind of stuff like that. That's going to be the factor that really sort of adds up when it comes to this kind of thing. So I think overall the reception is still just going to be very similar to the rest of the world, but there will be maybe a couple of considerations taken into account when it comes into an always online facility. And of course that use games things, like I've heard varied things about that, because like part of it is paying for DRM, like there's DRM and things like that with used games and all this stuff, and some of it's not actually true, some of it is true, but of course when it comes down to it, we pay a lot more for games here than everyone else does. So that'll be a very interesting part of whoever wins the console wars. Realistically, if you wanted to win a console war here in Australia or even New Zealand, and even some of, I suppose not so much, but some of Southeast Asia, you want to have lower prices on your games, or you want a very a simple way for people to be able to transfer ownership of games or something like that, because then people will actually care. Because instead of paying $120 for a new game or whatever, you pay however much less for a used game or something like that. So that'll be a really interesting factor as well, I think.
Is GameStop, and I want you guys to chime in here at any time, is GameStop going to go to the way of Blockbuster? Is it? Are we gonna no longer need a GameStop anymore? Is everything going to go digital?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty
Eventually.
inevitable.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't
Might
know
not
if
be this
this
cycle, but maybe
generation
the
of
next cycle.
consoles. Yeah.
The only reason why I would buy anything physical now is a collector's edition. If it came with a statue or a booklet or something, everything else I'd just rather buy digital.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. It's just so much more convenient. Same thing
Sure.
with Netflix. It's just, why bother? Why bother going to a store?
Yeah.
You don't have to.
A lot of people were saying, the Xbox One looks so revolutionary when it comes to the TV guide channel television system, and I completely disagreed with people, because you take a cable box and you just take the cable box with the HDMI port and that out port you plug into your Xbox. What I thought would have been revolutionary is if Xbox had its own television subscription service, to where you bought Xbox Live for $15 a month, and then per channel was $1. Like you wanted HBO, $1 or $1.50. You wanted the Food Network, that's another $1. So I thought that would have been awesome. And actually, John McCain, we talked about this last week, was trying to pass legislation to get rid of these packaged television, cable, premium, whatever services that you have to get 100 channels.
I mean, if someone's trying to pass legislation to have it happen, I think it's pretty unrealistic to expect a console to be prepared to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really understand all the complaints about the Xbox One. Like well, when I say people, I mean Reddit. Basically, is the
You
only
people.
news anyone's like getting about this. Have like completely unrealistic and ridiculous expectations. Like the biggest complaint at first was, oh, they didn't show any big games, we didn't see any gameplay, blah 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 at the Xbox reveal. Well, E3's in how long?
Week and a half.
June 11th.
Week and a half?
Yeah.
So there's no way any
Yeah, week
there's
and a half.
no way any big publisher of any big new IP or just new game in general is going to want their shit to be revealed at the Xbox reveal. That's like an in-industry thing that not that many people are watching compared to E3. Like of course there aren't going to be any games. And like what do people expect from a press conference like this? Like they're just going to show off the random shit and toys that'll get like a family to buy it, because that's how you win in the console market now. The Wii U.
That's exactly why I'm disregarding like all of this. Oh man, the Xbox One is such shit. Like, I mean, the main reason people are complaining is because there's no games. They want to see their games. So I'm not really taking any of that into account until after E3.
Yeah, and Dave, Dave, you made a good point in Skype the other day too. I think consoles moving in the direction of like a home entertainment system is the right move, because PC is a better platform for gaming, competitive gaming, in my opinion. Like if I want to sit down and play like a competitive game, an online game, I do it by myself on my PC, right? But if you want to have friends over or family over to play games, that's where a console is perfect, right? Because you're not really going to share your keyboard or your mouse with other people. You're not going to have multiple people plugged into your PC. So, like moving
Those
it.
dirty people touching my keyboard.
You take WSD and I'll take the arrow keys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
I'll
but,
take
look,
IJKL.
look who won the last generation of consoles, right? It was the Wii, which had no hardcore games. It didn't have the
Yeah.
Call of Duty and stuff like that people played on it. It was the family console that people bought. Like, of course, consoles are going to go in that direction. That's what sells.
Yep.
Like the Wii sold so many units that the Wii U isn't selling units because everyone still has the Wii, and they didn't upgrade anything except for their controller. But
Well,
It's an
that's
entertainment
just the way
system,
people
not
do
just
it.
a box to play games on.
I think a lot of the frustration is stemming from a lot of gamers themselves being disappointed with the recent console titles. I mean, the biggest console game that comes out is Call of Duty, and it's the same iteration every year. I still enjoy playing it, but I play for about 2 weeks and then it's over. And I get it for PC, and even on PC, it doesn't play as well as consoles because it's designed for consoles. The Uncharted games, the Gears of War games. Those were the big reasons why I played console games. And of course, Zelda and stuff for the Wii. So when it's console related and they want to see, okay, what can this console do for those games that I love to play? What can the hardware do for the experiences of why we originally built consoles? And they don't see that. They go, what is this? And they're really, really upset. And the used game thing, it's the same. It's that same anger and mentality of what happened with SimCity and what happened with that guy that got fired from Microsoft saying, I don't know why people are so upset about always online. I am going to be always online. So for me personally, it's not a logistics problem. But I was in the military, and I know people that are still in the military, and them being on a ship for 6 months playing Halo was one of the things that they did just to have fun and to pass the time. And if they can't do that because they can't establish an internet connection for the next Halo, that kind of sucks, man.
Has anybody actually said that though?
Think of the troops.
Yeah.
Think of the troops.
Because I
Yeah,
haven't seen
They're
you.
defending our freedom.
yeah, I've seen a lot of that actually, Dave. And I've seen a lot.
I mean,
of
I've seen a lot of people being making memes about it on Reddit, but I haven't seen any actual
I've never read an official
Information
statement saying that
about
that's the case.
I mean,
at all.
no, there's not going to be an official
I saw
military thing
the
coming
fake
out.
the fake CEO Kaz Zahiri or whatever tweeting about it that wasn't real. But again, I still haven't seen anything that actually says that,
Well,
other
'cause
than just people
the console's not
complaining.
out yet either. And once the console
Right.
comes out, a lot of it will die down. But it's a lot of hearsay, and a lot of people are just upset with kind of that always online transition. Never mind always
Well,
on.
Josh, you
Go.
played SimCity, right? You were
Yeah.
part of that disaster, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are the nightmares that every gamer thinks about when you think of always online DRM. Like seriously, you pay $60 for a product, and not only was it not ready to be released, like as far as bugs and just the game being in bad shape in general, but their servers just couldn't handle the load, and it's just a bad business practice to make somebody pay for a service that they can't even use. It just doesn't make any sense. So,
Well,
You know,
the biggest thing I've always wanted from Microsoft, and they had a bit of this for Gears of War 3, was dedicated servers. They had dedicated servers for
Yeah.
the ladder for Gears of War 3. They made a huge difference for online play.
Yep.
And they did announce that they're having a lot more servers, which to me is a big deal. I'm really happy about that. There's a lot of things I'm really happy about the Xbox One, and there's some things that I'm like, what's going on? Because the PS4 can do the same thing, or even the Wii U. I still gotta buy a TV first, so before the consoles come out. What better way to get it than when the consoles come out? All right. But speaking of PC gaming, man, you cannot play an RTS on a console. You can't. You
hey
can't.
man, I played Halo
Dude,
Wars.
man,
Okay,
Halo
I was
Wars.
I was top 10 on the Halo Wars ladder. All right, you talk to me a little bit about.
Look at you
Alright.
casuals with
Console
your Halo
RTS.
Wars. Look at you casuals with your Halo
Hey, man,
Wars. What about
to be
StarCraft
fair,
64, man? StarCraft
did play that
64 is
too.
where it's at.
Yeah. That game is canon, man. Alexei Stukov in that game.
Isn't there a guy in Masters League now that just plays on an Xbox controller? I
Yeah.
seen
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
that was amazing watching him streaming that. It's like, how does this even happen?
Well, he plays
Wait.
Protoss, no surprise.
No, he random. He random. That's
Does
the
he?
thing. He was
No,
randoming doing. I was like, what?
Okay. I think he mains Protoss though. I think,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's what it has to be for your joke.
Winks
So, yeah.
says his name's
Yes.
SC2 Res. But
Press.
hey, if he can do it, great. Good for him. I'm not doing it. There's no way, man. I can barely hold on to the keyboard and mouse. But other games, I've been recently playing Company of Heroes, which is a World War II RTS game, and you have to go all over the map sometimes. Man, I had to defend against a whole Panzer II division that was moving into the city, and if I was trying to do things on a controller, good night. I mean, there's no way I could hold that. So the responsiveness of a keyboard and mouse works for those type of games, and the more adventure type games like Tomb Raider or God of War, that plays better on console because it just feels better. Fighters to me will always be better on a console or more the controller.
Well, even shooters too, man. I mean, you look at console shooters, the amount of like either bullet magnetism or auto aim that's in the games. Like you just can't. And it's not because console gamers are bad and they need help. It's just you can't aim well with an Xbox controller, like that joystick. You just can't be accurate, which is why for competitive gaming, I think you need that keyboard and mouse.
Well, that's why they shut down the cross-platform play for Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At E3 last year, they're talking about, we'll have people on the PlayStation versus people on the computer. They're going to get wrecked. They'll never want to play the game again if that happens. And so they cut that off. The console and the entertainment world, too, is bridging so close together, the actual physical location of the experience in the house. That's the biggest draw for these consoles. And you guys are right about that. I mean, they want to have this entertainment system for the family in the family room, in the entertainment room. But some games that are designed to try to move into that space, I understand why they want to do it because it's a bigger audience. But does it detract from the overall game itself? If you have to design a game multi-platform instead of just strictly for PC, does it lose out on the quality of the game? Your guys' thoughts?
I'm not a developer, but I'd imagine it's more difficult to develop because you have to take things into consideration. Like I was just talking about. If you're playing a shooter, do you have to change the responsiveness of how the reticule moves, like your HUD or whatever? But I don't know. I don't think it's good. I think it can be done, but again, I'm not a developer, so I can't really speak to the challenges of programming it.
I'll have to ask some of my developer friends. Go ahead, Dave.
All this stuff goes back to what's the goal of the gameplay for your game? Do you want it to be a game that you sit down with friends and play, or do you want it to be an experience just for one person, where they sit down and play through a game, or they're playing multiplayer? It's just like one person doing it themselves, like a StarCraft or any other PC game. That's what PC gaming is now.
Yeah.
And if you want to sit down with your friend on the couch and play Mario Kart or whatever game, it's not Halo, whatever, anything like that, co-op, stuff like that, that's what you have consoles for now. And that's why it doesn't bother me at all that these consoles are moving towards that home entertainment thing. Because I don't want to play StarCraft on a console. I don't ever want a console to even attempt to run a game like that. I want a console so I can bring it to a friend's house and sit down with them and play some stupid game. It's just a fun thing to do with friends.
Yeah. Well, Battlefield 4 and Diablo 3 examples. Diablo 3 meant for PC. Now they're bridging it over to the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. Battlefield 4, there's a survey on the actual Battlefield website, and it asked which system will you be playing Battlefield 4 on. It lists all the current generation consoles and all the next generation consoles, and it had PC at the very bottom. Over 70% was for PC. Because to me, Battlefield 4, the full game is a PC experience. The maps are bigger. You have more people that can play, unless they announce that you can have 64 players for the Xbox One and PS4 servers or Wii U servers, which would be exciting. I just wonder, and I would like to sit down with DICE and ask them, do you have to cut anything from the overall game experience in order for it to work on consoles? More than just the player cap. I think that would be a good interview. So I invite you guys from DICE to answer my questions.
Probably.
Was that survey just on the Battlefield website?
Yeah, so it's kind of biased, right?
So wouldn't people be accessing it on PCs anyways?
Yeah. Or they? Well, I mean, you would still check out the Battlefield 4 website just for the hype, but yeah. Unless you had the other question I have for the new consoles: will it have Flash? Because
Flash.
yeah. Because if I want to browse the internet on my console, that'd be fun to do. Instead of having to load a app on my Samsung TV to play Netflix.
Probably not. It'll probably be apps again.
Yeah.
Just
I
looking
just
at the way the
think so.
Xbox console is set up, it's set up for apps.
Mhm.
The Wii U is the same. It has like a YouTube app instead of going to youtube.com or whatever.
You know, it'd be cool because they have the Twitch app for the Xbox 360 right now, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have the same thing for the Xbox One.
God, I hope it's better than the one on my phone. No
Yeah,
offense, Twitch, but come on, man.
but
Everything's
I-
240p.
I tried to get that on my brother's Xbox when I was at his place. You can't get it here. Obviously, it's only US only. But apparently, like when I tweeted and said, "Is it available worldwide?" and people said no, then there was a resounding, "It's also very bad" as well. So, yeah, I think that is a little bit of an issue as well.
okay. Well, I'm sure they're still working on it.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, you remember our rock band jam sessions till 3:00 in the morning? Wouldn't that be cool to stream? Just a straight up concert, rock band straight from the console. See how
It'd
goofy
be pretty
you are?
embarrassing, but yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be
that'd be fun.
Streaming it right from your Kinect.
Yeah, straight
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
it. To me, that'd be a goof.
Xbox stream.
Yeah, that'd be a goof off time. That'd be fun. I mean, I could see the capabilities of that. Instead of having to set up a whole production studio in your living room, you just turn on your Xbox, turn on your Twitch app. You have good enough upload speed, and then you just have a full-on dance party.
That's always been the selling point of consoles, right? It's just easy. You just plug it in and go.
Yeah, that's true.
So-
That's true.
All
All right,
that.
moving on to the League of Legends cinematic. Speaking of technology here, I watched it. I thought it was good. I gave it a 7 out of 10. You know, watching a cinematic is always cool because it's a different artistic take on what's happening, and you don't have to play the game. I thought the fighting choreography was a little bland. But other than that, it was neat, except the ending. Any of you guys watch it? Any thoughts on that? If not, we'll just move on to
I mean,
esports.
I play a lot of League of Legends, but I couldn't give a shit about the cinematics. Like, it's cool, but I look at it the same way I looked at, like, World of Warcraft cinematics. Like, the game doesn't look anything like it, so who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah.
I don't really care. If it was, like, some, I don't know, like, some lore, like, storyline thing, then it'd be more interesting, but it's just, like, a random cinematic that they can put in front of their tournament or something. So I don't really care.
Well, they've been retconning a lot of things to expand their lore with more areas and more people.
Yeah.
Tied to areas, but I just saw none of that in that cinematic. Twisted Fate was cool at the beginning. I don't know what city he was looking at, and then that was it. They just fought.
In news about cool MOBAs, the international prize pool's over 2.2.
Booyah! So is that
pretty cool.
goal number 3 they just hit?
4? I want to say 4.
4, okay. Because
Maybe
there's
5.
There's 9 goals, I think. And we still got a month.
Yeah,
to go.
and like 8 of them are realistic.
I can't go to the international because we have our World of Tanks finals the following weekend. So
Oh, that's sad.
I'll be repping that, but I'm gonna go to PAX Prime, so I'll be excited for that. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I'll still get to go to Seattle, visit family, and see people at PAX. So hopefully next year if it'll work out.
Is that when the first match is going to finish? Next year?
What do you mean?
World of Tanks.
Of World of Tanks, because the games take so long.
The game caps 10 minutes per match. It's a best of 5. The game takes like 3 or 4 fractions less than one Dota match.
Yeah, but
So-
there's usually people moving in Dota matches.
Your joke is invalid. Yeah, there's a lot of people moving and shooting in World of Tanks matches too. Let's move on to esports. WCS EU finals.
That's where we were at.
Speaking of things not moving, well, officially, I wanted to do it. Speaking of things not moving here, real no changes. Koreans dominating. MVP defeats Stefano, which was a pretty hyped match with that live crowd. That was pretty neat. I mean, all 20 people that were there, it was pretty cool. But when Stefano lost, the entire hype was dead. There was the people like, yay, that was fun. Congratulations, MVP. That's awesome. Great. And that's it. Which was very unfortunate because this is the European title. And Stefano was holding on to that title. And it did not go to another European. It went to a Korean. Your guys' thoughts overall? I thought the production was good. There was still some goofy parts, but a lot less goofy. Duckville, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, the EU, I didn't get to see much because it's at a pretty bad time for us. It's kind of like 2 a.m. till like 6 a.m. or whatever, and it's just like. But I saw a little bit of it, and I really did like some of the production stuff that I saw. Having sort of that weird sort of casual bar thing is actually really cool. Like,
yeah, I thought that was neat.
There's one of the sort of the Australian Football League used to have, or still does have, a show called oh god, I forgot what it's called. It's just called The Footy Show. It's been so long since I've watched it. But they also had like a comedian who was at the bar, and every now and then they'd throw to the guy at the bar, and he's like this comedian guy. It just sort of like this little casual setup, and he'd be like, yeah, and then tell some sort of funny joke about the situation they were talking about, and it worked really well. And I think that worked nicely for WCS. What was I going to say? I thought, overall, it was okay. The thing about hype, and this sort of comes back to something which I keep meaning to write a blog about or do a vlog about, but these like 4-week or 5-week tournaments, just that general sort of GSL format, I really don't like it. It's really bad for building hype. It's really bad for marketing. It's bad for the teams because you have this short space of time where not only do people not have a longer competition to build up a repertoire of games where you can say, well, in Season 7, I killed this guy 7 times, and then you can have that in a highlights video that goes through at the end of the match. Like, this is the problem that I have with the short format of generally everything in StarCraft 2 at the moment, is that it's just too short. And like the only thing that works better is Pro League or the OSL. And I mean, well, even OSL, of course, now is actually kind of defunct in the way it worked, but a much longer tournament is heaps better. As it works better from all perspectives in terms of the teams, because you can train your players better because you have like a space of a week to practice for the games.
Pro League
you
9 months, right? Right.
Yeah. And for marketing, like when it comes to sponsors and brands and that kind of thing, you can make hype videos because you could do one a week. You could do, you could have these various hype videos where it's like an interview with a player and you get all your branding and crap like that out of the way. For like the actual league itself, you can then build up hype a lot better because it's such a long period of time, and you could make the argument that a long season is a bit burdensome on players and also on the fans, because fans, they don't want to watch StarCraft every single week forever or whatever. But that's ridiculous. OSL and MSL did a very similar thing like that for a very long time, and it was pretty much the best StarCraft leagues that we've ever had. And I mean, even compared to anything in StarCraft 2, because there's just never really been anything long term.
Well, how the points work, though, is that if you win a season, you accumulate a certain amount of points, and those points determine who goes to the global finals, which is technically the end of a season at BlizzCon. So how they divide it up and how they market and message it is very confusing. It was confusing when it first came out. That was one of the big problems with it, and it still kind of is. Even looking at the graphics, you're like, what? What does this mean? Who qualifies for what here, and how does this work? So Season 1 in their labeling is over. MVP gets 100 and something WCS points. The top however many players will go to the finals happening in Korea. So in Korea,
for Season 1.
For Season 1, right?
It's Korea.
Okay, and they get even more points for that, but then they go into Season 2, and they continue to accumulate the points to determine who goes to the global finals at the end of the year. So I think there's like a lot of I think what they tried to do is they made a lot of chances for people to get those points. But what in reality is happening is just how many points can the Koreans accumulate in NA or EU for it to happen. So I thought it was still a success, of course. A lot of people watched it. The games were good. The Widowmine stuff was crazy. But upcoming...
Someone tried to do that to me on ladder. It was very funny.
Tried is a keyword. We have the North American finals happening this weekend, which is happening in New York. There's not going to be a live crowd there. Oh, probably about 15 people that will cheer at the very end.
Ooh.
And there's going to be Barcraft's Joey.
Weekend's gonna.
Wigan, are you going to be there?
No, I'm not.
Oh, damn. All right. Well,
Just the online guy.
yeah. Leafeater, are you going to the Barcraft?
I'll be at Barcraft SoCal, Irvine.
Are you going Saturday or
I
Sunday?
think just Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, it depends on my schedule if I can make it out. I'd like to. No North American players, except for one, if you count Australia, and that's Moonglade. So I know.
I was gonna say.
You guys,
I don't know.
yeah, you guys know who I'm gonna be rooting for.
USA.
Still a little bit tough. A little bit tough to explain to people. Hey, this is the North American World Championship Series event, where it has 5 Koreans. Snoot, I forget which country he's from. Moonglade.
It's Norwegian.
Norwegian.
Snoot's from Norway.
Yeah. From Norway and
One
Australia.
Norwegian, one Australian, and 6 Koreans.
6 Koreans. 2.
America.
Oh, yeah. Young. Okay, 6. Thank you. So a little bit tough in that regard. But I'm still looking forward to the finals. I mean, it's still a final.
Yeah, I mean, it'll
final.
still be good StarCraft, and eventually the goal is to make it actually a regional thing. Like, I can't remember what season they said they're doing it, but eventually players are going to have to actually reside in that region because they're going to have to travel each weekend, and that's much more interesting to me. Like, just from a fan perspective, so you can actually root for your region and things like that. But it'll get there. It's kind of it'll get there.
It's all growing
It'll
pains
get there.
still. It's all growing pains.
2014.
We all recognize that.
Eventually.
Yeah, I mean, no, again, learning a lot of playing devil's advocate again, which I do on the show sometimes. Learning a lot of things of what to do and what not to do in 2013 makes a better product in 2014. Taking away the devil's advocate, why wasn't this learned in 2013? Excuse me, or 2012 when they first did this?
Well, I think there was a lot of pressure put on by Riot, just with their whole LCS thing. You know, I think Blizzard wanted to get WCS going as fast as they possibly could, and I thought they did a decent job. At least ESL. I thought the European production was fantastic. I would watch it pretty much every day at work when I was just driving around, and the casting was really good. Just the overall knowledge of the casters was good, and the production as a whole was definitely better than I think what we saw from NA. So I think MLG specifically has a lot more to work on, even though they were put on, you know, obviously a really short time frame from Blizzard. But yeah, I just think that pressure from the whole success of LCS is what got them going a little quicker than I'm sure they wanted to.
Is there too much StarCraft content out there right now?
No.
Is it too much? Okay.
I don't think so.
I think if you try to watch all of it, it is.
Yeah.
But we are, and this is what they wanted. We actually follow 4 storylines. We follow 3. We follow Korea, North America, and Europe.
Yeah, if you tried to watch it all live, obviously, I think that'd be impossible for one person. But I mean, I think as someone who loves to watch StarCraft like I do, like I watch pretty much every day. Like always having a VOD to go to is so nice. Like I pretty much always have a tournament VOD that I can go watch, which is something that 6 months ago didn't really exist outside of GSL's VODs. So like having this big organized tournament that's global and on a pretty regular schedule is pretty nice for me, a StarCraft fan.
Again, this comes down to regions. I'm more interested in watching, even though it's not as good StarCraft as Korea, I'm more interested in watching American players play against American players, because that way I feel I'm supporting it, I'm devoted to it, I can follow a storyline, be involved with it, and the same people in Australia can watch the Southeast Asia League, and the same people in Korea will watch the Korean League, and the same people in Europe would watch the European League. And then they would bridge together towards the end for the big finals, and that's when it becomes, Clash of the Titans. Hopefully we'll get there, but
yeah, Josh, I don't remember. Do you remember what was Blizzard's reasoning behind people players not being region locked? Because I know like LCS is region locked, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
LCS is region locked. The World of Tanks League, even though it's not branded as region locked because of where the servers are located. If you try to compete from Europe and a North American server, you're going to have big ping issues. So that's why Europe has its own, Russia has its own, Korea has its own, Asia has its own, and North America has its own because that's where the players play. I asked some questions and I didn't get any satisfactory answers, but everybody was asking questions. I think in the gospel of esports, according to Clutch here, I think it was because the Koreans were unhappy, or a lot of things were still happening with Korea, and so much of it was such a big change. If they did that with the audience, they wanted to make it a gradual transition instead of just a hardline cut on all the regions. But in my mind, a hardline cut was what was necessary to create a region lock. So I think that they were trying to plan so much with the WCS that the region lock would have been too much of a headache or too much of a change that they didn't want to deal with. But I don't know. I don't know the official reasoning behind it. I would have rather to have had a region lock than not. But
I imagine they had to get everyone to agree to it, right? And there's probably a lot of people that wouldn't have agreed to it if there was a region lock, like a hardline region lock.
Too bad.
Start.
Yeah, too bad. Does Blizzard really need everybody to agree? Like,
I mean, if like say for example,
a lot of
Kespa
lay
and
down?
ESL, if for example Kespa and ESL say no, we're not going to do this, then you don't have a Korean region anymore.
Who needs Koreans?
Yeah. Well, and then and then Blizzard said they only want to partner with one partner per region, yet they partner with two in Korea. Because I think there's a lot of politics too. But
It sounds like there's a lot.
Right now we're speculating, and honestly, I'm so damn tired of people speculating all the time because that's what they've been doing for the last 6 months about NASL. So
So tell us, Clutch, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm doing World of Tanks, man. It's happening. Did you guys not see?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Announcement of an announcement.
Excited.
it's a boy.
The World of Tanks. All right, is there anything else we need to talk about WCSNA finals?
Go Hero.
Heroes.
Yeah, that's my boy.
All right, I'll be rooting for Moonglade there because he's the closest thing.
I'll be
I have.
rooting for Heroes gonna win.
Okay. All right, cool. I think it'll be good. All right, so the announcement came out today of the World of Tanks Wargaming.net League North America, which that league starts up broadcast-wise June 5th at 6 p.m. twitch.tv/WGLNA. And Hero Level Productions is involved with that. It's a white label deal with Wargaming, so really excited about it. It'll be 8 invited teams from the majors. That was sponsored and a tournament done by Wargaming, and then 8 teams will go through qualifiers. There'll be 2 chances to qualify, and the qualifiers will be broadcasted June 5th is when the broadcast will start, and then after that we'll move into league play in July, and then grand finals happening August 17th and 18th, which will be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. Been playing a lot of World of Tanks over the past 6 months. Been doing a lot of research. And I'm actually the most seasoned commentator for World of Tanks that is not a player in North America. So it's a pretty big deal. A lot of people haven't played the game.
Getting it on the ground floor.
That's right. A lot of people haven't played the game in the West. It is huge in Russia. It is growing exponentially in Korea. It's pretty big in Asia. It's still getting bigger and bigger. And World of Tanks has been growing in North America. The game's only been out 2 years, and it's free to play. And they take esports seriously. They want it to grow. They're excited about the competition and how it's evolved. Russia's got some crazy players. WCG was a lot of fun to commentate and to watch. And Fulcrum Gaming is pretty much the best team. Them and Simp are the top 2 teams from North America. And Fulcrum Gaming wants revenge against the Red Rush at WCG this year. It's kind of like Miracle in the 1980s, the hockey team. So we
Kill the
could,
commies.
yeah, it's brooding into this really nice region-based duel between Russia and America. So it's really cool to see that grow.
So there's a Cold War going on.
Yeah, and multiple seasons have been announced, so I'll be doing this for a while. So I'm really excited about it, and It's been a
So
lot.
your main role is going to be commentating and hosting?
For the most part, yeah, I'll be commentating and hosting. I won't be there for the premiere of the broadcast because I'll actually be filming segments with me and actual tanks that week. So I'll probably be there for that weekend, though.
You're gonna borrow Fitzy here's helmet headset.
I don't know, but it's been a lot of work and a lot of things happening behind closed doors, and now it's out. So that's what I'll be doing.
So are you going to be the only hero level or NASL personality who will be working on the World of Tanks League?
No. It's a lot of hero level productions will be involved.
Well,
with
like
the
the production crew will be behind the scenes, but what about like the people who are up front, like Bitterdam, Frodan, Andre?
yeah,
I don't know, Kev.
We've all been studying World of Tanks, man.
So it'll be a full group thing.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of things that are still on the table that we're working on, projects, etc. That we're excited about. We're going to see where they land, but for World of Tanks, I mean, we're all on board to make it the best production possible. And if that takes me on the desk, or Dan on the desk, or Bitter and Rotterdam on the desk, it's going to be up to the company to make those decisions per night or how exactly we're going to do it. But we're all going to be, we've all been involved in the planning session so far. And the set's going to look awesome. It's going to look awesome.
I think Barbie's
That's
been
going to
tweeting
be
pictures.
inside a tank.
Yeah. It's going to be sweet, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
And so, still no word on StarCraft, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but there will be something soon about that.
Getting Blizzard level heat.
Maybe-
class.
I know.
Blizzard now. It's just this
I know.
soon.
I know, it's
Next
tough.
week.
I know
Week after.
we've been saying soon for the past 6 months because we have been figuring it out for the past 6
Duke Nukem
months.
Forever will be out soon, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah.
They're on the
I mean, we
ballot.
joke about it, but the thing that people watching have to understand is most of the time you really can't say anything.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
can't.
I really can't. I would say there will be, and I wouldn't say put this in solid stone, but I'm pretty sure.
Probably shouldn't say it then.
Well,
Hang
no.
on, hang on, let me just
You
open up
probably-
Reddit. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just submit new. All right, cool. Sorry, go on.
That's my job, man.
Yeah. The sooner is getting sooner.
Oh, well.
Where it's soon squared.
Deal with it, yeah.
So deep, so deep.
I know, so deep. So deep.
So the World of Tanks website was made by EG, eh?
Yeah, Bitter and I had a conversation about how we liked the Raid Call Dota 2 League website. I felt they presented the information very well. They had links to the streams or to the VODs that were very well done. And so why not have them design the one for World of Tanks? That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
To my, that's the conversation I had. So they make good websites for esports. Other people should check them out.
So what you're saying is there's no EG World of Tanks team about to be purchased or anything like that?
I have no idea about that. I honestly have no idea. I have no idea.
So what you're saying is
even
Bitterdam won't be casting the Raid Call League either?
What's that?
So EG's not going to have a World of Tanks team, and conversely, old NASL casters aren't going to be casting EG leagues?
No, guys, I have no idea about any of that stuff. I've never been in any of those conversations. The only conversation I had with Mr. Bitter, who's the account manager for World of Tanks, that's his title over there, because Mr. Bitter gets a lot of things done and he does a lot of things right, so he's pretty much the leader under Russ and Morgan. That's the only conversation I ever had with him. I haven't talked with anybody about EG on that. So again, if anybody has anything more to say about that, it's just speculation or they have information that I don't.
See, it's not as fun when you're like kind of involved or attached to something, but you don't actually know anything because then you're not even allowed to speculate. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, ah, shit.
Yeah, I don't know. They could. I mean, there's a lot of money involved. $100,000 prize pool for season 1. Why
I could
not?
buy a lot of tanks that are better than other tanks in their tiers.
You can pay to win really a lot with that money.
Yeah, too bad it's not a pay-to-win game. It's just a pay to skip time.
Aren't there like better tanks that you can buy though?
Yeah, you can get
At least in the
premium
lower
tanks.
tiers, that's the way it was when I played the game like a year
Yeah, I was
ago.
under the interpretation that you can just straight out buy better tanks.
You can play the premium tanks, but if you grind through with the XP and the credits, the actual tanks that you unlock are will be better than the premium ones in certain circumstances. But it's like, hey, all my friends have tier 8 tanks and I want to play with them. Well, I could grind through for a month and a half to get to a tier 8, or I can drop some money and just get a tier 8 tank that's maybe not as good as theirs, but still I can play with them and learn the game and have a lot of fun. It's the same as buying a hero, it's the same as buying a champion in League of Legends. Like, oh, I really want to play this champion, but I don't have access to it. Let me just buy it so I can play with my friends.
Which, at least for me, is probably my biggest complaint with both League of Legends or like any format like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. My biggest complaint with League is that you have to grind for 30 levels to be on the same like playing field as people.
So you
because
get all
of
the
runes
runes
and shit like
yeah.
that.
Why
But
would anybody
as
ever
far
want
as
to play all the heroes?
but that's
as
that's,
far as buying the champions, like there's that never really bothered me because you can buy them with the regular currency. You still get the same champion that someone else bought. You know,
I
as
actually
opposed to like
think
a premium champion that has like an extra skill shot or some shit like that.
yeah.
There's nothing like that.
None of that in Dota.
there's none of that in Dota. So none of that in World of Tanks. When you buy a tank,
It's just hats in
Uh,
Dota, right?
yeah.
That's how it works.
When you buy a premium tank in World of Tanks, for example, there's the T-34, which is a tier 8 tank, and it can get matched up from tier 8 to tier 10 when you do the matchmaker. T-34 I can take down in a T-32, which is not a premium tank, it's a regular tank that I grind through. The T-32 has higher turret facing armor, and I can have
And what tier is the T-32?
it's tier 8. It's tier 8.
What's the top tier?
Tier 10. But only tier 8 is the top tier for competitive play. You can't go higher than tier 8. So there's like some drawbacks to just having premium only tanks. Some of them are just not as good as the grind tanks. But it's also in the player's skill, right? Like if the player's good enough, he's gonna kick ass in that tank no matter what.
Patient enough or good enough?
Which one? So honest, you can play the game without putting a single dollar in it, but money increases the speed of which you unlock things, and then you have customizable skins and things that you can add to your tank as well. But it's not pay to win. Some people could have argued that because some of the premium shells were only gold, but now they made it so you can get it as credits. Credits is the in-game currency that you get by playing it.
Okay.
So,
I remember when I played it a long time ago, like the early tier tanks you could purchase were just like far and away better than like any of the ones you got at that tier when you were actually playing it. And then there was like the shells and things like that. But I admittedly I haven't played it in a very long time, and I never played it very much when I did.
Yeah, well, World of Tanks actually coming out with a patch here pretty soon, the 8.6 patch, that reduces the random number generator. Because when you shoot a shell out of your tank, you have a plus or minus 25% damage rating when the shell lands if it penetrates. And there's also the aiming reticle for where you're at. There's like a 67% chance it'll hit in the very center, and then there's a 97% chance that it could hit anywhere inside that reticle. Where they're actually changing those values because wargaming, gratefully so, wants to focus more on player skill rather than random numbers that generate. And this is the same thing as you would see in like World of Warcraft, where if you throw down a heal, it's a random number plus the crit chance plus this. And with a competitive sport, you know, some things can maybe have a little bit of randomness, but for the most part, you want it to determine on player skill. Wargaming, said that they want that to be more of the case, which is exciting. They want this to be a serious competitive game, and it is with the amount of clan wars and tournaments they've had internally, or at least on the servers themselves for wargaming, and now it's branching out to leagues with money for dudes playing video games to get money. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about working with wargaming. I really like them as a developer. And I really like the vision that they have, and they understand it's going to be a growth, and it's going to, that World of Tanks numbers-wise is not as big as it is in Russia, but they're looking to improve upon all aspects of the game. So I'm really excited for that. And I really enjoyed it at WCG. It really piqued my interest when I was researching it then and then commentating it then. And to see that it's played at such an international level, to have those region rivalries, to me is really exciting.
Are you going to switch from learning Korean with Clutch to learning Russian with Clutch?
After I learned Korean, which I'm still working on every day, and I can read Korean now, which is really cool, I'll probably either switch to Chinese or Russian. Because, yeah. Korean to me is still very, very important, and I'm still planning to visit that country this year. So, any other questions about the North American World of Tanks stuff?
I hope you guys can change my mind on World of Tanks.
Me
Hope it
too.
works out for you, man.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It is a lot of hard work, and we're really excited about it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I really look forward to it. And I've interacted with the players in North America for a while. They're really excited about it. They're good guys. A lot of the demographics of the age of the players and the fans of World of Tanks a little bit older than like the college age StarCraft 2 people or the high school age League of Legends people. So I really respect those different communities as well. But one of the things that I really like about the wargaming community is that they're a little bit older. So I look forward to see what they have to say about a North American league. But yeah, a lot of good things ahead, and the esports is here to stay for a while for sure. So we're here to stay for a while. Let's talk about real quick the League of Legends All-Star event. I watched a little bit of it. I thought the stage was impeccable. I thought the production quality is pretty good. I'm glad they hired a lot of the talent from America and Europe to come out there. Did you guys watch any of it?
Yeah,
I watched
a
most of the
good
North
amount.
American games.
All right. Well, it was good.
It was good. It was a lot more exciting than I thought it would be, and I don't watch that much League anymore.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
yeah. The crowd noise, like they ended up turning it down, but the very first game of the weekend was China versus North America, I think, and like during a really early kill top lane, the crowd was just so loud that you could like barely hear the casters, and I got those nerd chills, man. Like it was just so awesome. Like you could really feel the electricity of the crowd and just like how excited everyone was to be there. I was kind of disappointed that they ended up turning it down a little bit because I thought that kind of made the stream. But it was cool, man. It was a really well-produced event.
Yeah, the crowd noise always makes the stream so much better, and I really miss that. Somebody put in the show notes a Protoss buff. I think it's Galen. Maybe it's Dave.
Nope. Duckville.
Yeah, it's Duckville. I know David Kim had said some things about the Protoss. If I see him at the Barcraft, if you guys want me to say anything
Prism
to him, I will.
Speed.
Oh, yeah, does it
That's
need an
a-
upgrade?
I think it's a good idea.
Oh, gosh.
Oh yeah. This is
More
awesome
miss-
for me, just mainly because of my Speed Prism Colossus drop. You now actually save 100 minerals and 100 gas, so it's actually kind of funny. But yeah, no, I thought I just add that in.
Right on.
I know Galen loves that buff is coming.
Sure he does.
It's a stupid buff. It really is. It really is.
I
stupid.
disagree. It's a great buff, but for a completely different reason. It has nothing to do with balance. It'll make games more entertaining to watch, and that's a good thing.
Exactly.
We shall
Yeah,
see.
it will. Like, it'll force Protosses to, because I mean, if you get a Speed Warp Prism for free and you still don't build one, when Warp Prisms are already just so good, then you're just retarded. I'm sorry, you're just stupid. So
I'm excited to see what Hero can do with a speed prism that he just gets for free.
yeah.
All right,
Heroes.
moving on, since we're running out of time here. Movies. I watched a review of Adam Sessler. I mentioned this a couple times on the show about Bioshock Infinite, and he talked about the ending and how he didn't find an ending that would piss off or resonate or wow people since Chinatown and Godot. Waiting for Godot is a play where nothing really happens, and Chinatown is a film by Roman Polanski in 1974, starring Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. And I watched it on Netflix. I checked it out, and that ending is brutal. It's a way better ending than Bioshock Infinite's ending.
Can you
but
summarize it briefly? Because I think
None of you guys are gonna watch it. Okay.
I haven't seen it yet, and I doubt any of the people. Well, I'm not gonna say any, but I doubt most of the people haven't seen it. So
All right. So
explain why it's interesting and how it relates to the Bioshock. And I'm pretty sure we're past like spoiler time for the Bioshock.
All right. It's 30 years later, right? So, okay. What happens is Jack Nicholson is a private investigator that investigates people's lives. Most of them are affairs. And he comes across this guy that's involved with, it's taking place in Los Angeles in the 30s, I believe. And he comes across a guy that's involved with this dam that's happening in Los Angeles. And a lot of people are really against it. Some people are really for it. He is hired by someone who claims to be his wife to follow him around. He finds that he's with another girl. He takes pictures. He gives it to the person that claims that he was his wife. She was his wife. But she was not his wife. She was a reporter or a call girl. She gives it to the press. The press comes out and totally bashes this guy, which ruins his case for not having the dam built. And then he is found dead, thinking it's suicide. Well, Jack Nicholson finds his real wife. They were going to sue him for slander, but it turns out they're not because he thinks that the guy was murdered. It starts getting into a crime thriller drama, finding out what really is going on. Jack Nicholson starts to come to some conclusions. He is hired by Faye Dunaway's character's father, who's this huge rich tycoon which actually owns the water company, to find the girl that the guy that is dead was having an affair with. Then at the very end, you realize that Faye Dunaway and her father had an incestuous relationship, and that the girl that the guy that was killed was with was actually Faye Dunaway's daughter/sister. And so Jack Nicholson goes to help her to escape, to get away from the police, to get away from everything. The old tycoon shows up to try to take the young girl away. Faye Dunaway brings a gun out, tells him to get away, shoots him in the arm, takes off in the car, and this is happening in the end in Chinatown. That's why they call it Chinatown. The cops shoot at her and kill her. So Faye Dunaway just straight up dies, and that's the end. There's no justice. Nobody goes to court. It's a complete abrupt ending where the girl that was the victim, the innocent Faye Dunaway, who was not quite right in the head because of what happened, just gets shot in the head and dies. And the last thing is you see Jack Nicholson, he's just like standing there in shock, and his buddies, his old cop buddies, tell him, forget it, it's Chinatown. They just walk out. And you're sitting there going, what? What? The ending was completely not what you expect at all, because most narratives lead up to a climax and then there is a resolution point. That's not what happened. The girl got straight up killed and that was the end. So the ending hits you so hard in an entertainment sense as an audience that you're aghast, and that's what made the power of the film, was that ending. So with Bioshock Infinite, with its ending of it, which didn't make really a whole lot of sense when you break it down, still the ending of that you were Comstock, and that because all these different realities were created because of that warp hole that was made, and Elizabeth's finger getting caught in it, and then she had the power to open all those warp holes and see all the different realities. In order for that to actually stop, you had to die at your baptism. You had to drown. And yet it goes back to where he's going to see if Elizabeth is there or not as a daughter. So it's like the ending is so what that it hits you so hard. That's why Adam Sessler mentioned it. If you're a film buff, you really enjoy films, it's a Roman Polanski film. And I think it's his masterpiece as a filmmaker. It's really, really cool. Jack Nicholson plays a really cool dude. He's straight to the point, great acting, and I do recommend you guys watch it. And that's it for spoilers. We won't spoil it.
Welcome back, Lee Peter.
And I'm back.
Anyways, so that's why I wanted to mention it, and I want to give a huge shout out to Adam Sessler for mentioning his review, because when you get to see films like that and how impactful they are, you can see where some inspiration comes to these video game storytellers. Other movies, Elysium looks cool. Have you guys seen the trailer for Elysium? I don't know. It's Matt
Looks like the
Damon.
sequel to District 9, right? Basically.
Kind of, yeah.
They're kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It looks interesting, I guess. I don't know.
From the same
I'm glad
people,
that's...
or
Is it? Looks like the same
don't know.
art style, at least.
okay.
You know,
Uh,
I think it is the same director as District 9. I think you're right, David. I think I saw that in the trailer from the director
Really?
of District
Oh, okay.
9. I could be incorrect, though. But the art style, the cinematography kind of looks the same. A lot of directors work with the same cinematographers. I'll probably still watch it, but to me, Oblivion has been the best film this far of the year so far.
did you see Star Trek?
Yeah, I did.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I liked it. I didn't like the ending. I thought it was very predictable, but I loved the fight scene in the middle with Khan.
Yeah.
That was great.
It's the same director as District 9.
Okay,
Huh.
same director. Booyah, good call.
Good
I'm a
guess.
little bit concerned about After Earth, that Will Smith, Jaden Smith picture. I saw the trailer and I thought, not really interested. It looks kind of blasé. And then I found out M. Night Shyamalan's directing it. If you
Like
would've-
that trailer needed like a hook, something more interesting than like,
Yeah.
oh, they just crashed and now they're
yeah.
surviving.
If you would have told me M. Night Shyamalan was directing it 10 years ago, I would be super excited and I would be totally like, what's going to be the twist? What's going to be the twist, man? But now that he's done films that have sucked, I'm like, oh, really? He's doing that? So, somebody I know really wants to see it, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. Shows. Shifting gears now onto shows, because we got to wrap up here pretty quick. Arrested Development. It's been released on Netflix. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I'm halfway through the third. So far, not that good. It's not that good.
Really, that sucks, man. Because I really like that show. But I haven't seen the new season yet.
There is. I saw somebody mention on the internet that it's around episode 5 when it starts to get really good, and I kind of understand that because they're going through each character per episode to see what they've been up to the last number of years until they start where they're at.
Okay.
I hope this is not too big of a spoiler. I don't think it is. One of the biggest things that really pissed me off when I was watching it is that when they go back in time, they have Kristen Wiig and Seth Rogen play the mom and the dad. And to me, the only funny part is if somebody was sitting in a room and they were putting the show together and they said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we had Kristen Wiig and Seth Rogen playing the mom and the dad? And somebody's like, yeah, that'd be cool, and that's it. That's the only thing that's funny about it is somebody thought of it a year and a half ago when they were planning the show. It's not funny when you see it on camera. It's really jarring. You're looking at them going, this is just Seth Rogen and Kristen Wiig doing impersonations of the parents. It's not funny. And that's a big red flag to me. It's just not cool. I'd rather have the original characters just with original actors with younger makeup. That's it. So to me, when I saw that, I go, that's a decision I really don't like, and hopefully there'll be less of those in the future. But anyways, I'm still going to watch the rest of it here pretty soon. No Game of Thrones this week because America had Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Yeah. I don't know if Da Vinci's Demons happened Friday either. I have to check and see. But that show's really
I think it
awesome.
did.
There was a new Hannibal, but I haven't watched it yet. So.
Keelan, have you watched Da Vinci's Demons?
I have not.
You should check it out, man. It's really cool.
What is it?
It's about Leonardo da Vinci and the Sons of Mithras, which is this group that explains to him that there's a really cool line where they say, listen, the ideas that you have, the inventions, is because you're remembering them from civilization past or something like that. I was like, what? And it deals with the Vatican and how evil the Pope is at the time. It's kind of like the Pope in the story of Assassin's Creed 2, but it's really, really good. It's really cool.
Cool, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. There's boobs too, so it's good.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
Where can you watch that if you don't have Showtime or whatever?
It's on Stars, and if you want to watch it, then you'll have to use pirated channels.
Okay. There's no like Stars Go
Yeah.
that you can just buy
Project
the
Free
episodes.
TV.
No, Stars doesn't have an online thing.
No, they don't. I wish they did.
Pretty sure
because
that they do not.
I would give them money to watch those episodes. No problem. So, second but last to not least is music. I've been listening to the Daft Punk album continually. I really haven't checked out any other albums. Is there any other things you guys have seen since Daft Punk's album came out that's cool? Anything on the radio? Does anybody even listen to the radio anymore?
Does anybody actually like wait for like follow things by album anymore? Or is it just like the Daft Punk thing? That was an exception for me. I almost
Yeah.
never like follow if an album's coming out or anything like that because Daft Punk's awesome. But
Any cool songs?
that's just not how I get music anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how I think anybody
Spotify.
gets music. Has the Daft Punk album grown on you? Because at first I really wasn't too fond of it, but it's grown on me a little bit. Like, I don't like the majority of the album, but there's like a solid 3 or 4 songs that I really do like.
The only song I'm like, is the last song. The drums are
But the
cool.
sun, it's spinning and like it's a star. And
Yeah,
stuff.
the 2 songs, there's 3 songs I really, really like. One of them's Instant Crush, which I think is a really cool song. Touch is an amazing journey of a song. Get Lucky's cool. It's a cool song.
Get Lucky's like the song of the summer.
Yeah, doing it right. Doing it right.
That's probably my favorite on the album.
That's pretty good. So every song to me is a place in and of itself, which I really like. Go ahead, Joey.
Subfocus and Alex Clare released a single somewhat recently, I think, like at the beginning of May, called Endorphins. That's pretty good.
Okay. I heard, actually, Rotterdam showed me this song. It was Pink and the guy from Fun singing a song together. And I really liked it.
So if you remember, when we did like our end of 2012, what was your favorite thing of the last year?
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite song of 2012. And Wigan's favorite song of 2012 was, I think, Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. And right now, both those songs are in the top 5. So, interesting commentary. We're trendsetters.
Trying to say you're a hipster?
Yeah, I really am.
I liked it before it was cool, man.
Yeah. Can you type for me in Skype what those 2 song titles are? I'll add them to Spotify. Thank you.
Subfocus is some good drum and bass, man. Like every time I hear a single by them, they never disappoint me ever.
Just added it to my playlist.
Nice.
Scott, man, freaking Spotify has just been like the best thing ever for me.
Oh, it's so good.
I never bought music, but I never wanted to pirate it either for the longest time. It's just like the perfect program.
It was so good. I keep getting updates saying that Wigan is added to dubstep metal playlist, and I go, oh, cool, and I just don't listen to it. But I think it's neat that you can follow other people's playlists. All right, let's go to the last thing here. I think I answered a lot of questions in the time to opine. Any questions from chat? We won't take open phones because we really got to wrap this up. If you guys have any questions in chat, go ahead and type them out. Do you guys have any questions about the World of Tanks League that I could answer about the game itself, how it works, the esports side?
Yeah, you guys think there's going to be an offline event?
Yes, there will be an offline event.
Josh, I got a question. I haven't watched a whole lot of World of Tanks. I tried to watch some of the GOM production of it because, I don't know, I just wanted to see what it was all about, and I wasn't very interested by it. Like, is the Korean playstyle different than playstyles like everywhere else in the world? Because it seemed like they just played extremely defensive with one tank trying to run around and do objectives, or is that kind of like the meta game for everyone?
Well, the game is still pretty new in Korea, so when I was watching it, I found it to be intriguing compared to some of the things I saw from North America. But honestly, if you watch the Russian stream, the Russian teams are so on point with their different strategies, the tank mix-ups or compositions that they create, that I'm pretty sure one-on-one Russia would dominate Korea. However, just like Tasos and Artosis say all the time on their broadcasts, is that when Koreans get their hands on the game, they become the best. And I look forward to watching the growth of the skill of Korea. The league I've actually watched the most, or the league I should say that I've seen almost everything except the last broadcast, has been the Korean league. And I'll try to watch the Russian league here and there. I think one of the best series was Roka Team 2 versus Arthur the Troll King, because that was a sweet, sweet comeback by one of those teams. So if you haven't watched that series, that was the 3rd day of the Korean League for Tanks. I would definitely say check that out.
Okay.
Just remember, Galen, it's mech versus mechs.
It's mech versus mech. That's right. How long are a normal match and set? It's good. It's a best of 5, and you have a 10-minute limit. And there will be a draw probably once every 10 to 20 games. It's just the nature of the game. So it's about an hour, 40 minutes to an hour for one match. A match can consist of up to 5 battles. So that's the
length. They're making like a World of Planes game, right?
Yeah,
they talk about them
Warplanes.
integrating that into World of Tanks.
Warplanes and World of Battleships. At first, when I thought of World of Battleships, so that'd be kind of slow. But when you can play as submarines and just go stealth mode under those ships, I think that's pretty neat. Integration, there's some rumors and talks that Wargaming will probably take that route in the future. I don't know of anything definite about that, but I could definitely see it. I have World of Warplanes in beta. I haven't messed with it too much because I've been focused on tanks, but I really want to, because me as an Air Force flyboy, flying a P-51 Mustang and shooting down at Axis power planes, man, that'd be great.
War Thunder is really fun. It's like I guess, whatever their rival company that isn't nearly as big as version that's already out. Been playing that a little bit.
It's like Steam free to play, right?
I think so.
Wargaming is based in Belarus. The company is actually turning 15 years old today. They purchased Gas Power Games. They purchased Day One Studios. Day One Studios created Mech Assault, the first Xbox Live game on for the Xbox. So they definitely like people that like mech stuff, which is cool. I was going to say something.
You know what you should do? You should get Goody to help commentate.
Goody?
He loves tanks.
Yeah. Good.
Now, would that get Goody to like World of Tanks, or would that get Goody to stop playing mech?
I think he'd like World of Tanks. I think he would a lot. It's fun, man. It's fun when you hit a tank from the rear compartment and it catches them on fire and you watch them burn. So it's such a cool feeling.
Yeah, I think it honestly seems like a very fun game to play. I just hope it ends up being a good game to watch too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know Hero Level, man. When it comes to making things fun to watch, we do it the best. So, Joe, you going to say something?
Are you planning on working the Wargame booth at E3 again? Or Hero Level in general?
I plan to be there, yes. The official show and everything else has not been announced, but Wargaming will be at E3 and I will be at E3. Which I'm really looking forward to.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited.
I don't know if I'll be able to go to any of the trade show or the conferences, like the Xbox One or the PlayStation One, or even
those are pretty exclusive. But hopefully you have enough time to walk the show floor because it's pretty extensive.
Yeah, I had time last year when I hosted the GameSpot MLG esports experience, brought to you by Internet Explorer. That was fun. That was a lot of fun last year. 3 days.
That would be funny to see that.
I don't think MLG's doing anything at E3 this year. I think GameSpot's having 2 booths, and none of them are esports, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Cool, dead air. Any other questions?
Let's see.
There's only one in chat, and we already answered it.
He wants to know, Noka PC wants to know how big the prize pool is.
$100,000. It's the Season 1 prize pool.
So World of Tanks, it'll be broadcasted on all weekdays. That's what the schedule's going to be. It's going to be a weekday broadcast.
Yeah, it's going to be Thursday to Sunday. Will be the broadcast.
Thursday to Sunday.
Just like it says on the calendar.
Yeah. So there would be a very limited time frame if Hero Level would be doing a second production or one-off events around the World of Tanks League.
For different games?
Well, not like full-blown different games, but like if you were to be doing like a one-off event of what other insert game X here, there wouldn't be a large with the World of Tanks schedule.
Well, with the schedule itself, I mean, it's there on the website. Everything is planned out pretty much to make it the best experience for tanks. But you know us, man. We
do silly hours.
We do silly hours. We can do a lot of things. And we still do a lot of things. So that is I think that's an assessment that we'll make of, do we have the manpower to do this? Do we have to hire manpower to do something? That's always a possibility. But as a production company, we obviously want to make. As Wargaming, we want to make it the best production, period, for tanks. And Russia does a good job, Korea does a good job, but I think we're going to blow them out of the water, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be so fun to be in front of a camera again. It's been too long. It's going to be good. Duckville just left us.
Too long for Duckville.
Too long.
He's that upset
too
about
long
tanks.
for Duckville. Too long. Yep. All right, well, that does it for this episode of Shifting Gears. I'd like to extend a huge thanks to everybody that came on today. And I know, Duckville, you need to do things because obviously you got up and left for a second because it's cold, it looks like.
Oh, it's cold, man.
Yeah. So we'll go do a quick round of shout-outs. So let you go first, and after that, Joey, then Dave, then Galen.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. It's been cool to talk about all sorts of random things. Of course, this week we've got the GSL finals, Codes finals, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. Of course, there is the NA finals, but when it comes down to it, Korea, yeah. OES, the Oceanic Esports, for anyone who is in Australia, there will be a Sydney Barcraft 3 p.m. start. It's going to be at the Paragon Hotel in Circular Quay. You can find all the information about that on facebook.com/Oceanic Esports. There will also be a Perth Barcraft at 2 p.m. I assume that's Eastern time as well. No, that'd be Perth time, I think. At the Varsity Bar in Netherlands. And of course, again, all the information on the Oceanic Esports Facebook page. There will be some interesting announcements coming up regarding some other things that Oceanic Esports is going to be involved in as well. Looking forward to that kind of stuff. I have got like 9 VODs to upload right now. I've been doing a heap of casting this week, so I've just got to actually upload them. I left my my auto switch off on yesterday when I was trying to upload, so my computer turned off by itself halfway through an upload. But so I'll have a bunch of new casts coming up on the channel over at youtube.com/DrPhilLol. And yeah, I guess that is about it. Also, I watched The Mist and it's bad. That's it.
That ending. All right. Leaf Eater.
Alrighty. Thank you for having me on the show again. You can follow me on Twitter at LeafEater. It's above my head, I think. I'm like almost at 800 followers. I want to break it. It's like a personal life goal. I'm going to be at SoCal Barcraft for the WCS America Finals. I think Clutch will be also. So if you're around the Southern California area and can make it out to Irvine for either Saturday or Sunday, you really should come because it's a lot of fun. You can meet and talk with like David Kim, most of the NASL people, and there's going to be a bunch of free shit too. So I mean, the atmosphere and environment's great. So you really should come if you can. And yeah, I think I'm going to stream some StarCraft and Dota more because I have too much free time.
Oh yeah, just quickly. Sorry, I totally forgot. Tonight, at 7 p.m. my time on this channel, I'll be streaming Diablo 1.
Whoa!
Some fun
Wow,
times.
man.
So
I
that's
remember
7
when
p.m. my
going the way
time,
back
which is
for
very
sure.
early for you guys.
I remember when Diablo
It's very
was-
early. So
I remember when Diablo was good.
yeah.
All right. All right, Wigan.
Follow me at DB Wigan. Thank you for fixing that, Josh.
Yeah!
Not DG, DB.
DJ Wigan, brother of DJ Wheat.
Shout out to Guild Wars 2 for being fun again because they added a spectator client to PvP and a bunch of stuff. And watch WCS America because that's kind of my job. I like when people watch it.
America.
That's it for me, man.
All right, and the man himself, Galen, go ahead.
No shoutouts, except watch Duckville's channel because it's awesome and I watch it every day at work. Watch his StarCraft casts.
Right
Just a
on.
shout out to Bald Eagles, man.
Yeah,
Caca.
freedom, damn it.
Caca.
Freedom. Shout out to freedom and democracy too.
All right, dudes and dudettes, thanks for watching Shift to Gears. You can follow me on Twitter at Clutch08. It's been a pleasure. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.